If there was one thing that the NBA Youngboy Make America Slime Gun Tour has taught me, is that when you're winning, everybody will be for you and on your team. Now, over the last 4 years, NBA Youngboy has become the most problematic, blackballed, and hated rapper in the industry for various reasons. Now, Youngboy's been fighting legal troubles such as being in and out of jail, being on house arrest, which prevented the elevation of his career. Now, after the murder of King Von, Lil Durk's right-hand mans, the entire hip-hop industry, including Apple Music and Spotify, which are rich white companies, took the side of Lil Durk in a gang war which caused serious division in the hip-hop world. Now, if you look at all the videos from the concert, you'll see rappers and fans having a blast, but these same rappers were having so much fun and clicking up with YB were the same people who wouldn't even be around him 3 years prior because of their affiliation to Lil Durk. Now, if you're asking me what happened, I'm saying what a lot of people are thinking, but are too scared to say. The reason why a lot of people are even close to Youngboy this whole situation is because Lil Durk, if I'm being honest, may never come home. It's harsh to say, but it's the truth of the situation because Lil Durk is being charged with a murder for hire plot in the death of Quandarondo's cousin that happened in 2022. Now, if you look at all these videos on the internet, you'll see fans and rappers having so much fun at these concerts, but if we take it back a little, these same rappers 3 years prior wouldn't be seen anywhere near NBA Youngboy, and in fact, they'll be more seen towards Lil Durk. Now, if you ask me what happened, because that's why you're watching this video, the reason why Youngboy is so popular and people love YB is because Lil Durk essentially is going to be in jail potentially for the rest of his life. Now, Youngboy has a cult following, and this takes nothing away from YB, but the reason why rappers essentially are so close to YB, because we haven't seen this before, is because Durk is being charged with a murder for hire, and it's sadly to say, he may never come home. Now, if you ask me to describe Durk's situation, I describe Durk as being in a Game 7 NBA Finals, win or go home, and you're down 30 points at the start of the game. Like, Durk is down 30. He's essentially betting that please, hopefully none of my co-defendants tell on me, and that's how Durk could beat the case, because if co-defendants telling him, he's cooked. We have text messages out of context, he may go home. And it started to make me think, and I saw this clip from Academics before, which was exactly what I was thinking, why are they now showing love? It's almost like people forget before how DSPs, as well as Apple Music and Spotify, were essentially causing people to pick a side in a beef that had nothing to do with them.
Who wasn't fucking with Youngboy. Bro, y'all realize that when... Go listen to I Hate Youngboy. Go listen to him. Because I remember saying it to Youngboy. I said, Youngboy, I think Durk outsmarted you. He tricked you to give him the buzz he needed. And I remember the energy he had from that, because I remember he called me in jail. He was in jail. That's when me and Quando, we kind of put our issues aside. Remember, me and Quando had a little whatever. And he was just like, yo, Ack, what's good? He's like, yo, bro, what's up with you and Quando? And I'm like, nah, it ain't really nothing. He'd be like, all right, bro, I need y'all to whatever. And I'm like, yeah, it's cool. And he said, yo, dog, these DSP motherfuckers won't play Quando. They won't playlist them. They're saying that Quando, because Quando was associated with a situation with Vaughn getting killed, they won't playlist and they won't whatever. Why are they picking sides?
Now, Academics explained the conversation that he had with Youngboy involving Quandarondo, and how essentially the whole NBA Youngboy, which is the never broken camp, is being blackballed by Apple Music and all these record labels because of a beef that they were just dragged into. Quandarondo didn't try and kill King Von. King Von tried to kill Quandarondo, or at least that's how it ended up. Now, essentially, Quandarondo, someone who's a great rapper, couldn't really rise his career, and Youngboy was in jail thinking wait, why are people who are not in the streets, their whole business model is to play songs, create playlists, and get people on radio and make money off it, which they are from our music. Why don't they want to play our music? It's just weird. And he talked about how on the song I Hate Youngboy, Youngboy was essentially talking spicy. He was dissing Durk's dad, Durk's girl India, Chinese kitty, Gucci Mane. He's like, Gucci Mane, after those pussy N-words, I used to F with Gucci, but not anymore. And he was essentially just saying how he felt. And if you look at every YB show, he always ends the show playing I Hate Youngboy, then leaves the venue, and people go crazy.
Why are they acting like they're gangsters? And then why are these other rappers who ain't involved, if they're gangsters, they should realize, okay, two niggas got issues and it turned out to be blah, 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 blah. Why are they picking sides? That was his demeanor. That was his energy when he made I Hate Youngboy.
If you look at the Youngboy and Durk situation, it's very ironic how these two essentially just switched places, and their life did a complete 180. We have Durk, someone who's used to being free, making music, being around his family, going on tour, something that he does every year, to him being in the cell facing a murder for hire charge. Then we have Youngboy, the first time that he's probably been free and out of prison for longer than a year. He's out, he's doing tours with his family, and he's interacting with his fans, something that he hasn't done within 5 years.
Bro, come to find out, Durk gets locked up. Youngboy gets free. He's on the biggest tour. And all these rappers are acting like they all wasn't picking. Bro, I'm telling you, when I used to bring up NBA Youngboy's name, it was like bringing up Hitler. They were all like, because I'm going to be honest with you. It was a thing to say if you fuck with Youngboy, you couldn't fuck with the crew that fucked with Durk. And I'm talking about all of those people. The Futures, the like everybody who they fucked with.
Now, academics say something that we all knew, but just hearing him say it was even more funny. How essentially, Youngboy was essentially the black sheep in the hip-hop industry. People didn't want to be around him. He was too problematic. He had too much smoke that came with him. And essentially, people picked a side. I've heard 21 Savage say in an interview how essentially people were close to Durk, don't want to work with Youngboy. And that's essentially why even Drake, the biggest rapper in the world, didn't want to do a song with NBA Youngboy because he knows that, listen, I'm close to Durk. Y'all got some real street beef where someone died over it, King Von. And essentially, Durk is my right-hand man, and we did the song Laugh Now, Cry Later.
Durk, he's going to take on your beef. He's going to, oh, okay, you got an issue with him? All right, fuck that nigga. I'm not collabing with him. Bro, that's why even Drake was like, yo, he can't work with Youngboy because he knew how Durk felt about it. And he was carrying it like that. But there was mad rappers carrying it like that. They're like, yo, somebody died. Yo, we can't fuck with this guy. And I'm watching now, Durk is in jail. And all of these guys, they're watching Youngboy have this hot tour. And all them little morals they had is going aside. Because, you know what, they're all making this cost risk assessment. They're like, well, Durk might not get back out. But Youngboy's the hottest thing out right now. We got to get cool with him.
Now, one of the biggest contradictions and problems that I have with this whole situation, it is almost like we have grown men who are moving the goalposts. And here's what I mean. So, essentially, when we listen to rappers' music like Lil Durk, 21 Savage, Youngboy, all these guys talk about grave diggers and stepping on shit. Like, these are some real gangster rappers from the cities of Chicago, Atlanta, Baton Rouge. These are some real street dudes, right? But it's almost like the same thing that they praise and are upset about, when it gets done to them, it's like, no, we can't be friends. The same person who makes all this gangbang music like NBA Youngboy and Lil Durk, when Youngboy's, or should I say when Durk's fans got stepped on, which is King Von, people are mad at Youngboy. Oh, they shouldn't have done that. You could have just put out your gun. First of all, the only reason why Quando Rondo's still alive is the person who's over him, his gun jammed. So Quando would have been dead 5 years ago, just like Von, if the situation transpired in a different matter. So people have this whole energy towards NBA Youngboy, like, oh, well, things should have panned out differently, or he didn't have to be this aggressive. But it's like the same things that you praise, such as killing people, selling drugs, all types of stuff in your music, that actually happened in your situation, and they took the L, and they're very upset. You know, that's why I always support DaBaby, because DaBaby, even though he's been canceled a million times, he makes great music, by the way, he was the only rapper who actually worked with Youngboy and put out the album Better Than You, which is like a mixtape, during the time where no rappers ever were messing with YB. They're like, you rapping YB? I can't really do that. You know, I kind of cool with Durk. I kind of want that Schmirk feature. Like, you got grown men who are too geeked to get a Durk feature that they didn't want to make a song with NBA Youngboy. And DaBaby said, F it, man. I'm putting out this tape. They had banger songs, Neighborhood Star, Wi-Fi. And you had other people like from Chicago trying to step to DaBaby like, why are you doing music with him? And it's like, yo, I'm a grown man. You guys might let other grown men make your decisions, but I make my own decisions as a grown-ass man. And I'm working with YB. So I'll forever respect DaBaby for that situation, because I get death creates division, but all the situation could have simply been avoided if King Von kept his hands to himself. The bottom line of this whole situation is people are problematic, wishy-washy, and they'll do what's best for their interests. The same way on Gunna's situation, where when Gunna first came home, he's a rat. People didn't want to work with him. 2 years later, he's the hottest artist in the A, and people want to make songs with Gunna because he's popular. The same situation right here, how Youngboy was problematic. He was the other side. He was the ops by affiliation because people want a song or want to be friends with Lil Durk. That's what happened here. And people are like, Lil Durk's been in jail for almost a year now. He's facing life in prison. You know, he might never come home. Like, people will always do what's in their best interest. And that's why they're switching up on Lil Durk and being friends with YB. Now, if you ask me, this is the biggest hypocrisy I've ever seen in the rap industry. And I put that up there with people saying that Youngboy can't sell tour tickets because we see what happened in this tour right now. Now, thank you for watching this video. I'll catch you next one. We're putting out a lot of videos, man. I appreciate it. Let's get it.